Okay, so we've travelled up to Barnsley today to meet none other than the dream maker, Dimitri van den Bergh. How you doing, Dimitri?
I'm okay, thank you, and welcome to Barnsley.
Thanks, yeah.
Funny enough, sunny Barnsley.
It is sunny, yeah. It's my first time here, but it seems like a lovely town. But so yeah, you're in town today for an event, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah,
we'll have a few flow tournaments behind closed doors, where we are allowed to have a few guests in, which always going to be close friends, sponsors, yeah. And then in the morning we start. Tournament will be played until the end, and the next day again and again and again.
Okay, just keeping it going, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one. I mean, I was looking on your Twitter account earlier, and you say that darts is more than just a sport; it's a lifestyle. What do you mean by that? Is something you've done since you obviously growing up as a young teenager, I presume, and until today? You're like nearly 30, but you're loving it still, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. Like darts has meant already so much to me, from the years when I was going to school till the years that all of a sudden was able to turn pro. It was dreams that I was chasing, and at the end making them come true. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice, but yeah, the moment that you get into this position of being a full-time pro, it turns into a lifestyle, because like I said, sacrifice is a key. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you need to do dedication. Words of my manager are always, it's easy to get to the top, but it's tougher to stay there. So yeah, you literally make choices that are going to be about you and your career, and darts, it's non-stop as well. Yeah,
lots of travelling and lots of dedication, like you say. Part of your progress, I think you've moved over to the UK a couple of years ago from Belgium, grew up in Antwerp. How did you find the transition moving to the UK, and what's the kind of toughest things you've had to adapt to?
In this situation, I've got to say a few massive thank yous. First of all, to my missus. She's the one that backed me up straight away to like support me in my dream. And I also got to say a big thank you very much to Megan Hedda and Damon Hedda, because obviously with them together we found the place. They've put a whole lot of work in behind the scene, because obviously we was just stuck in Belgium, and they were driving up and down, seeing new places, and yeah, they were up for it. They said like, yeah, maybe you just combine the rent for every month, and we can get a bigger place. So we did it. So we found something nice, and it made the time of Corona during the combination of playing pro so much easier, so much better. Straight away I had one of the world's best practice partners. And yeah, my manager also just loved everything about it, because it was a house that was only focused on darts. Yeah,
the House of Darts.
So, yeah, House of Darts in Leicester. Yeah.
Right, excellent.
So positive things about it.
Yeah, that's good. I think, did I read that you once lived with a different darting icon by the name of Peter Wright?
Yeah, that man that year, that moment, was also the current world champion. He still had the world champion trophy in his house. Corona, what happened, as everybody still remembers, all the borders shut down, and we still knew that next week there were still some pro tours on. So I was like, you know what, how about we'll stay for the week, we'll play again next week, and then I'll go home. But everything changed. All of a sudden they said, tournaments are not going to be played anymore. All the borders are going to shut. And then Peter Wright and his missus Joanne said like, how about you come and stay with ours? So yeah, I had one of the most unique experiences where I've learned a lot from as well, and I do have to say that I came back stronger after I was allowed to stay there with them for 3 months, and it done me the world of good in many different ways.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's a lovely offer for them, and yeah, I can 100%. Imagine that it probably worked both ways. You probably learnt some things from you as well. So
I hope so, but generally we're just very thankful what they've done for us. Not only me and my manager, but also my family back home said like, wow, thank you so much for taking care of our son. And yeah, in that position I was also living another dream, because a lot of people wanted to be in my position. Let alone think about a fan. What if he all of a sudden gets the invite to come and stay at the current world champion's house? So yeah, I saw what you could achieve by playing full-time pro.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to kind of more present darts. Last season in the Premier League was your second season in the Premier League, I believe. And you won on the round 16 in Aberdeen, you won the night, didn't you? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the crowd there looked like they were buzzing for it. You were having a great time. How much did that mean to you to win that?
Loads. It meant, like, from the start I said I wanted to win at least one night, just one night win.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be patient all the way until the very last night that I was given. Obviously, chances of qualifying for finals night was done. I wasn't able to get that into my grip. That was already out. So yeah, I went out with a bang this year in the Premier League, and I've got to say, twice in Scotland and twice I got to the final. Once I didn't, the other one I did win. So besides that, it was so incredible playing in that Premier League every weekend. You're like in a different venue, huge amount of people in there. Like the crowds were always, I think, 5,000 or more. A few times we were 10,000 people. I'm like, wow! And the atmosphere when you're throwing a dart on that stage, it's a total different level, and it's amazing. And I do agree that Premier League will help you further if you work obviously smart with it. If you take it on board and take it as a huge lesson. Even though I was still trying my very best to be a winner as well. It was, remarkable.
And obviously, I don't think we know yet about next year's Premier League, but how confident are you that you'll be involved and hopefully this time make it to finals day and get in the top 4?
Well, 100%. I would love to be back in there. I would love to be picked again. That alone is already a huge honor, because you got like 128 professionals on a tour that do whatever they can, and obviously they want to have that dream as well to be selected for Premier League. It ain't easy, but I also know that I've got already a few good results this year. And you just got to keep your feet on the ground, keep trying your best, and the most important thing is shine on the majors. If you do great stuff on the majors, then they know that you're a great player. Under an amount of pressure where a lot of people watching you can still perform, you can still show that you're a world-class player. And that's what they want to see on a regular base, and that will give them the feeling as if we put him in, he will always show up, he will always turn up, he will perform, he will not be afraid or scared of huge crowds.
That's it. I think the fact that you're charismatic up on the Yoki and the crowd react to you and you have some good relationships, I think that also gives you an extra boost when it comes to the Premier League.
I think this year as well, I enjoyed it so much. I was a lot of times a lot nervous, so I was smiling loads more. It was just an unbelievable experience to have, because obviously my first time that I was picked for Premier League was, I think, the start of COVID, or maybe
it was 2 years. There was a gap, wasn't there?
It must have been in Premier League, more closer to the end then. Which we was playing in blocks, like 4 days, 5 days, 3 days, stuff like that. It wasn't the full experience of Premier League normally gives you, but I've done a great result there, and now I've played it in this way, which is, it's a whole lot harder. You're more away from home. You still want to be on top of your game every weekend in, because obviously you play there and you continue to the next tournament. You're just trying to observe, not observe, to take everything in.
Absorb it all.
Absorb, that's the word. Absorb everything that's happening, everywhere you're going, and in the long shot it needs to make you a better player. And I took a whole lot from that, and I do feel that mentally I'm a whole lot stronger.
That's good. And in terms of the venues themselves, obviously there's a couple of overseas events, but there's still not one in Belgium at the moment. Is that disappointing? Do you hope that there will be next season, or maybe the season after?
Like I see it in Belgium developing, it's crazy. How many people that are coming to watch the darts, how many people are full focused on it, following it like the full year. People that are going over the tournaments now, flying from Belgium to be there and sniff the atmosphere themselves, it's mental. So it will be incredible to have a Belgium event, and to be fair, I can only see it improve at the minute. So maybe next year another step.
If the PDC are listening to this, hopefully so. In terms of the events that there currently are on the Premier League circuit, which do you think has the best atmosphere? Some of the northern ones or the Scottish ones?
I think it's definitely hard to say, because all of these people, all of these fans singing anthems, singing songs, welcoming you to the stage. I've done 16 different places in 16 different weeks. It's really tough to pick one out. But if I do have to pick a few, then it's definitely got to be Holland because my family was there.
Okay, yeah.
And that on its own was also a nice feeling because I think after a few weeks in a row, I didn't manage to win my first round, and my family was there, and I managed to win my first round again. So stuff like that just gives you that extra boost. And then I think Scottish venues has done me good. So
yeah, you seem to perform well in Scotland.
Yeah.
Maybe north of the border is your lucky country.
Maybe it is, but probably because I got taken in by a Scotsman, right?
That's
for
true.
3 months.
Maybe he's got
it's an aura that keeps working.
That could be
a good
it.
connection.
That could be it. In terms of other tournaments that you've performed well in, obviously the World Match Play, incredible moment for you to win that.
Very high on my list.
Yeah, and you've got to the final again, I believe, right?
The year after, yeah.
That's the year after, yeah. Of course, that's right. So, what do you think it is about the World Match Play itself that brings the best out of your darts?
Probably because of, first of all, it's the tournament. I like to play longer games, which is like giving you an extra bit of time. If you do make a mistake here or there, you can still recapitalize from it. You can still get back into the game.
True.
Longer formats. Yeah, for some reason I've always liked it. Set play or longer formats in legs. I've got my way of working with it.
The venue as well?
Venue is, there's nothing to say bad about it.
It's quite unique,
there was moments that it was really warm in there that I just sat down just like now and sweat was just pouring down my neck.
Really, yeah.
So there have been really tough moments, but hey, if I've got it, my opponent have it.
True.
So you just, once again, absorb what's happening, focus on the cause, and that's come on that stage and walk off as a winner. So don't make it too difficult.
Exactly. I think Blackpool's quite a unique place, isn't it? The crowd get very into it as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of some of your other best performances against Johnny Clayton, you hit 13 180s, I think, when you beat him at Ali Pali. Was that last year?
Was that 13 180s? But yeah, that was the last year World Championship quarterfinals.
Yeah. And then afterwards, you gave a very kind of emotional speech to the crowd, and you buzzing off adrenaline. Do you remember it well, or was the adrenaline just kind of?
Oh, when it comes to me doing interviews straight after a game, it's full of emotions. I've already gave a few that people will memorize.
Have they? Yeah.
Yeah.
They quote them back to you, like.
They refer afterwards back to me, like, "Oof, don't let Dimi get close to a microphone and stuff like that."
We love it though. I think it's great. I think
that's just the real me. I'm not afraid to show myself who I am, and if there's a camera or not, who cares? This is me. What you see is what you get.
Exactly. That's the best way to be. I think it's the authentic.
Yeah, 100%.
Antwerp legend, as it says on the hat there.
Born and raised.
Yeah. It's a lovely city. I've been there quite recently. I went to.
Good to hear.
I went to a club there called Ampere. You know Ampere? I think it's under the railway arches.
Oh, you mean like to go party?
Yeah.
No, mate,
there.
never heard of it.
No?
Wow,
Okay.
cool. You even know my place better than I do.
No, I mean I've got a friend who lives there, so yeah. But we're going off track a bit, but I've got some more questions about Belgium later. We'll get to them. But in terms of darts, again, something else that I know you're very passionate about is the Darts World Cup. And unfortunately this year didn't quite go to plan. You had some epic matches. You won 2 8-7 and then you lost 1 8-7. But
correct.
You're getting closer. Do you feel like maybe next year is going to be your year?
It's really weird. When it comes to the World Cup of Darts, every time again, Belgium knows we're in for a shout. We're in for like being a winner of this tournament. And every year again, we just show why. We always go deep in the tournament. And for some reason, it always takes something special to get us out. This year,
it was Wales.
We played the first game. First game was the only game that we played only a fewer legs. But then since then, it was every game to the very last leg. I think he won like 4-3 or 5-4. 4-3, I think. It was the best of 7, I think it was. So we win 4-3, then we win 8-7, and we lose 8-7. And I'm like, oh, why the hell is everything in the game going to the last legs? We play so good, but also they are playing really good against us, and that's what you need to look at. Then obviously Wales and Belgium, I think that semi-final might have been the final as well, because the next round Scotland didn't really turn up, they didn't perform.
I was going to say, do you think if you had got over the line in the semi-finals, it was kind of there for the taking for you?
Well, Thing is that 7-7, they go up, and I think Gizzy didn't hit a treble, and I go up and I have a 120 start with a bounce out. And I'm thinking like, oh, why this bounce out? What if that would have been a 180? Then I wouldn't have had a shot on the 161. I mean the 121. I would have had a shot on 61.
Right, yeah.
Give me a shot on 61 instead of 1-1. We might have won the game because Johnny afterwards just picked 100, treble double, and I'm like, this is a tough one to swallow.
I see.
Yeah, once again we got close.
It's fine margins, very fine margins.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to the next time. Do you think the team will be the same? Will be you and Kim, or do you think it will be anything different?
I know that from our other Belgian players that we've got on the tour, they're very motivated to also perform for their country. They also would like to wear the national colors. So
I'm sure. So a big honor.
I'll just do my very best to make sure I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I'll just see who's going to be my partner. But from the start till now, I've always had a partner up with Kim.
Yeah.
Yep. There were years that he was number 1 of Belgium, and then at some point it turned around and he was number 2 for Belgium. But it was always me and him.
It's good to have the rivalry there. I suppose it must spur you both on because you both want to be the number 1 of Belgium, right?
100%, but it's not only about being number 1 of Belgium, it's also being number 1 of the world.
Yeah, of course.
So we've got bigger causes that we are focused on, but if you're allowed to play for your country, if you're getting picked to get this honor, then fully committed to it.
Really committed. And how are you approaching the rest of the year in the lead up to obviously World Championships in December? It's not that far away now, really, because we're in September, so we've got October, November. What's your plan of kind of attack for the Worlds this year?
That's very simple. Everything that's happening right now, that's for me my build up to the World Championship. I've learned that if you prepared, then you'll be stronger. And once again, words of my manager says, if you fail to prepare to fail. Yeah. You don't want to prepare to fail. You want to be ready, especially for the biggest one in the world. And last year I got to the semi-finals, which also gives me that extra motivation because finally I've got that semi-final. Now I want to go one step further again. If I can get there once, I can 100% believe in myself that I can do it again. There's no reason not to. But it's always about what I can do, not about what others can do. Yeah. So from now on till the World Championship, everything is going to be part of my build-up. So everything that's in front of, like play championships this weekend, in a couple of weeks we got the World Series finals, and so on and so on. All of them I will give 100%, and I want to walk off as a winner. So the more I win, the stronger I will be. I know that I am mentally, but also in my confidence, and that could be very dangerous for anybody.
Yes, I mean obviously that's key, isn't it? So fingers crossed it goes well, the build up, and then when you get there.
Thank you.
I've never actually been to Ali Pali, so hopefully this year I'll be there.
What are you waiting for? You get yourself all the way to Barnsley, but not Ali Pali.
I know. I'm missing out big time. I don't even live that far away from it. My girlfriend's desperate to go. She said you can't go unless I'm there, so that's partly what. But okay, I've got
see you both then.
Yeah, hopefully. So I've got a hypothetical question about darts in other places around the world. So you see how Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian Football League is buying all the players from Europe, and we've had Anthony Joshua, big boxing events in Saudi Arabia. If darts was to have a big event in Saudi Arabia, would you be up for that, going out there? Presumably if they put the money on the line, you'd be up for it?
I guess so. Why would I say no? If definitely, like you say, if they pay the big bucks, then
they got the big
count
money.
me in. It's always good to get the extra cash on the side while you're doing something you love, while you're working your passion.
Have you been there? Have you been out to the Middle East? Or?
I think only for stopping and continuing, stop in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. I don't think. Probably Bahrain is qualified or classified as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So we played there this year, Bahrain.
Okay.
Also a really cool experience.
Yeah.
We at some point when we walked into the venue was literally next to a real life Formula 1 car, and I'm like, look at this thing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Even I was too big to fit my bum in there. I'm like, how do these guys do it? That was
you got to be very slim guys, right? And like during the Formula 1 race, they lose like 8 kilos just in sweat. I think something mad like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would like to lose 8 kilos just out of sweat.
I don't think it's that easy though. But yeah. I've got another hypothetical question for you here. If at their peak of their powers, Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor in the final, I don't, because obviously they met, didn't they? But I don't think they met at the peak of their powers. But who would your money be on?
I still would go for MVG.
Yeah?
Yeah. MVG's highest averages are higher than Phil Taylor's. So on that point, I would go for him. And
the numbers talk.
Yeah, it's all about the stats. I know that Phil has done, in my eyes, the best results ever, like the biggest champion, the most world champion wins. He beat everybody who was in front of him the years that he was playing and the years that he was competing on the high levels that he was pushed to play for. But MVG just, yeah, that 105 average for him was so easy to the 110 when he needed to. Even 125 average, he was even close to beating it with 130 plus. Stuff like that, I haven't seen Phil do that. I have seen Phil play averages above 110, 115. I've seen him do that as well. Like I remember him playing against Adrian Lewis, must have been the World Match Play final or semi-final, one of them two. That was an extraordinary game that they played, because it was like the 180 after the other and they didn't look like missing. But yeah, I do feel that MVG always has got that little bit extra
killer instinct as well.
Oh, that extra special thing.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing on the right time. He does that so often and so fluently, so easy. I think that would seal the deal in the end.
He gets the vote for you. Yeah, fair enough. I can see where you're coming from. In terms of players changing their darts and switching them up, we see Peter Wright doing it so often. Does that surprise you still that he still hasn't settled down? Because obviously you've got your own darts you seem pretty happy with.
Yeah, I'm always one of them that likes to put work in with one set of darts. I believe that getting yourself to the class is because you got to work with it, not because you change your equipment. Changing equipment always shows me a bit of weakness, that believes that you're not using the right material. Now, obviously that's my way of looking at it. I've also had a few chats with Pete about it, and well, just very simple. The guy has got over 350 sets of darts in his house.
Yeah.
I know in COVID that I put myself on the ground and I was like, you know what? Bring every set of dart you've got in this place. Bring it to me. I want to check it out. I want to know exactly how many. And I think it was like 366 sets of darts or something. But that was then. Yeah, we're already a few years further, and
500 now.
Oh, I tell you what, I think he said the same already to me. Oh, I'm probably around the 500 sets of darts. And for him, it feels that he can play with darts to a certain potential. But he also says until that potential, he cannot go further. But he can with a different dart. Okay. And that's where he strongly believes in. And he also feels that every day you sleep different, every day you're a different man. So why not play with a different dart?
Interesting.
Stuff like that.
Psychology of darts is obviously a big thing, isn't it?
Mentally, you need to be prepared to play professional. Yeah, you need to make sure that you can handle pressure. You need to make sure that you can play in front of people. You need to make sure that you can not get yourself winded up because of mind games of players or tricks of players. And yeah, you need to make sure that you are strong and believing in your own ability. So a lot is here.
I hear what you're saying there, and in terms of someone who's obviously gets the crowds, well, gets the stick from the crowd, Gezi Price, and he came out with the ear defenders on that time.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? Do you think that's just him that's his personality coming out, that's him being a bit, do you think he feeds off the crowd, or do you think it negatively affects him?
When the crowd supports him, he definitely feeds off it. You can see him raising his game. One of them as well, put him on his A game when he's speaking. You need to be cut out of very strong wood to freaking beat whatever he's showing you. It's wow, it's incredible what he can do. But yeah, when he's against him, when the crowd is booing him, that's a tough one for him, because obviously he's also there to try and provide for his family, and I've heard and seen some nasty things, but fair play to him. Whatever he done there with those sort of headphones or ear protectors, that was him standing up for himself, and that's how I know him. When it needs to be done, he will stand up for himself and he will let people know, right, end off with it now. I'm sick of it.
I don't think you'll ever have to resort to the ear defenders. I think you've got...
You never know.
Well,
you never know. I cannot make everybody happy. That's what I do know. But
most people seem to be on your side, though, and that's credit to your personality.
Where is wood? Touch wood.
Yeah. Moving away from darts to some slightly more random questions. When I was in Belgium, I noticed on the trains there's lots of colourful graffiti on the trains. And they seem to be happy just to let the trains run with graffiti on.
Oh, no.
Whereas in England, they clean it off straight away, and the taxpayers pay for the graffiti to be cleaned. What would you prefer to be? Would you see the relaxed attitude in Belgium, or would you prefer it over here?
What I do know is that because of a lot of people, a lot of kids, youngsters, female, male, I don't really know. I also don't really care about that. They did do a lot of graffiti things on all of these trains. So they came up with, you know what? We will make a huge wall next to the railways, a huge wall, and everybody just was allowed to do their thing.
Oh, like a big community project.
Yeah, just to get these people to do what they want to do, but away from doing it on property of the government.
Okay.
So that's what I know that they've done, which I really support. I think that people that want to do graffiti, they're so creative. I really think they do some great art, and sometimes there's a nice strong message behind it, but don't do it on property of other people. So
not on the trains.
No, I agree. I would like to see as well trains without graffiti, because it does shows a bit as if we're in the Bronx or something.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Doesn't show safety.
No. I suppose it's intimidating to some people, maybe.
So, yeah, especially if you're like me now with dad, a little kid. Then
course, yeah.
You overthink everything now, and the only thing that you want to do is make sure your family is safe.
Yeah,
so stuff like that.
How are you feeling? How are you finding dad life?
It's definitely challenging. It's a whole new world. My little girl obviously keeps growing. She's keep learning a lot, building up her own character. But in general, it's just every time when you wake up and you hear that voice or you see that smile, then your world is just as even more perfect than you thought it was before.
Oh, that's nice to hear, man.
100%. I'm a huge family man, so having my own little family is one of my other dreams compared to being a professional dart player.
And plans for any more, or just keeping it small?
That's all entitled to the missus.
Okay,
she's the one that literally...
She's in charge.
It's 95% of, doing, how do you call it? Taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
That's what she does, 95% of it. Because I'm constantly gone.
Exactly, yeah.
When can I do it?
You're
so when she's ready, we'll go for a second one.
Fair enough. And in terms of football, were you a fan of Royal Antwerp when you were over there growing up, or?
100%. I've always known about Royal Antwerp because my dad is a huge fan.
Is he? Okay.
Runs
in the family.
My dad is a crazy. He's not really crazy about Royal Antwerp, but he always, when it was a team, was watching them.
Yeah.
But then I've got my godfather. Yeah, he's full on Antwerp.
Okay.
For the last 10 years, my mom is fully into Royal Antwerp FC. Funny thing is that I've got a grandfather. Well, I had a grandfather. Unfortunately, he passed away. It must have been last year, February 15th. He passed away, but he was 50 years long a steward at
really?
the biggest rivals of Royal Antwerp in Belgium. And I've always watched them. I've always watched Antwerp. When it comes to Champions League, then I always like to see the Belgium teams play when it's international. I want the Belgium football to do well.
Of course.
That's what I want. But obviously,
team,
now, for some reason, I don't know why, I feel so much more connected with Royal Antwerp FC. I'm actively following it, which I have not really done in my past.
Okay.
And it happened, funny enough, also because of Ronnie Harbricks and Kim Harbricks. They took me 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, with them to the stadium, to the Boshal, and
nice.
I watched Antwerp play, and since then you just
feel more involved, more connected.
Yeah, you feel more involved. It's just the feeling of being there in that stadium and watching. It's so different.
Yeah.
It definitely sparked something alive in me.
There must have been a big party in your household when they won the league last season, right? On the last day.
Oh, well, how about we won all 3 the cups?
Oh, the cups as well.
We've done a triple. Done a triple, yeah.
Okay, but
we won the league after 66 years.
I was going to say, it's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. And then, yeah, cherry on the cake, we're qualified now for the Champions League. Now we're playing 100 years old.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is really, really cool. And yeah, I just want them to do well. Like, funny enough, I'm actually following them actively. Oh, yeah, it's really cool.
Good. So yeah, the dream maker, and they're making dreams come true for their fans as well. So
they're doing it. They're doing an amazing job. Proud of the RAFC.
Excellent. All right, I think that wraps it up pretty well. Dimi, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Sir. Thanks for speaking to us, and
very welcome.
Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.